So in reading the text, Seeing Beyond, where it talks about these levels, levels of consciousness or levels of practice, my question is, how important is it for the practitioner to know where they stand in terms of these levels, and how can that help them progress or regress, and to know, how to progress?
Fair question. Knowing sometimes helps you, sometimes it obstructs you. See, because there are basically two sides to this whole process. Self-effort or no effort. Just opening to what it is. So one would be considered a more natural way of doing it, which by osmosis, let's say. So if you're around high people, then you're going to feel that. You're going to resonate with it. So therefore, the masters over the centuries, ages, have said, no, be around practicing people. So you teach us and adepts, spiritual people. Because in that situation, you can learn and see things and feel things and see how, let's say, the experience of higher intelligence or higher spiritual awareness shows up in the case of some people. So it's easy then to move into that. You resonate more with it under certain conditions. If you're just reading without experiencing the culture of the spiritual, then it's different. It's a very different thing. And it's your mind that determines how much you know or don't know. See? Or yourself. Your interest, your ambition, your ego may have more to do with it than not. You start believing certain things, say, oh, I know this, but right, you read something, everybody sort of says, wow, this is common sense. Oh, I'm already there. I guess I'm enlightened already because I know that. No. Knowledge is not enlightenment. Transcending knowledge is more related to enlightenment. So it's what a person is able to go beyond, not just accumulate. See? We're talking about the third level in the book. Yeah, this is a level of entering higher, let's say, resonance. See, outside of the normal, you start to feel more etheric, maybe, energy, spiritual, psychic energy. You start to feel it, participate in it more consciously, and sense that there's more to who you've been. When you start to look at that level of potential awareness or experience beyond ordinary self, materialism, karma, and being karma, identifying yourself as somebody who does this and does that, getting outside of that sort of matrix of identity into what you are as nobody. See, what you are as a spiritual body. So this is also important to see. And then that becomes the beginning of the rest of the ascent. See? Let's say there are, like the yogis teach, relative to the body, there may be 7 planes. But then there are those who say, no, there are 14. But you can't see the other 14. There's 7 say, altogether. See? So there are different levels of existence that you don't just learn about and then assume. You can't. Because what holds you back is your clinging, and what also holds you back is your blood programming. See? So the programming is one thing that you're given to feel and be, and then from your birth. And then you have self-clinging, self-assumption, self-creation, which is also an impediment. So without openness, you can't evolve beyond yourself. But then it depends on what you're open to. So if you're open to the enlightened being or enlightened beingness, then there's a possibility you can start to assimilate more of the karma of the transcending of self, thought, mind, world, and suffering of ordinary people. So openness is very important. Being around the right people is also very important. And so let's say, not that I'm an exemplary person of any sort, but you see there's maybe a little bit difference here, and from other people that you're around, you see there may be a different sense of reality coming.
It's almost like, what I'm noticing is, or I don't know if you can say, once you start to get a taste, or what, if you come into or open up to what's going on here, that, pushes the other stuff away, or if you go back to the other stuff, it doesn't have its same, fruitfulness. It doesn't, where you could almost feel the suffering a little bit more, Now when I'm going back to that stuff and and creating that karma, you feel it more.
You see the fact of suffering.
Right.
Right? It's not like a theory.
Mm.
Just as enlightenment is not a theory, it's a way of being.
Mm.
Right? So there's not a thing that is enlightenment. It's beyond a thing. But suffering is not just a thing. It's what people are being. So you have to go beyond being suffering, and you have to go beyond being enlightened, so to speak. See? So what is just what is. It's open. Comment? Or is that good? All right. For now.